Stop worrying. Stop losing sleep over things you cannot control. Stop carrying a burden that was never yours to carry. Because while you're stressing about the outcome, God is already working on the solution. Right now, in places you cannot see, through people you have not met, through doors you didn't even know existed. The biggest mistake most people make is believing that because they cannot see movement, nothing is happening. But just because you can't see it, doesn't mean God isn't building it. Every person listening to this has faced moments that tested their faith. Moments when the bills were due, when the relationship fell apart, when the opportunity disappeared, when life felt unfair. And in those moments, the mind becomes a battlefield. Fear starts talking, doubt starts talking, anxiety starts talking. And suddenly you begin questioning everything. But what if your delay is not a denial? What if your struggle is preparation? What if God is using this season to build a stronger version of you before He releases the blessing you've been praying for? Because sometimes God doesn't change the situation first. He changes you first. Most of us trust what we can see. We trust the money that's in the bank. We trust the job that's already secured. We trust the people who are standing right in front of us. We trust visible evidence, the visible results, the visible progress. But faith doesn't operate that way. Faith is believing before the evidence arrives. It's trusting before the answer comes. It's standing in the middle of uncertainty and still saying, I know God has not forgotten me. And that's difficult because when you're facing real problems, faith gets tested. When the bills keep coming, when opportunities keep passing you by, when the phone doesn't ring, when the prayer seems unanswered, when the situation refuses to change, that's when doubt begins to whisper. That's when fear starts talking. That's when anxiety tries to take control. And suddenly you begin wondering if anything is happening at all. You begin questioning your future, questioning your purpose, questioning your prayers, questioning yourself. But listen carefully. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean nothing is moving. Just because you cannot see the answer does not mean God is absent. Think about a seed, a tiny seed placed deep into the ground. The moment it disappears beneath the soil, nobody sees what is happening. Nobody applauds it. Nobody celebrates it. Nobody takes pictures of it. To the human eye, it looks like nothing is happening. It looks buried, forgotten. But beneath the surface, something powerful is taking place. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. Life is being prepared. The seed is not dead. The seed is developing. And many of you listening right now are in that exact season. You feel buried. You feel overlooked. You feel forgotten. You feel like life has placed you underground while everyone else seems to be moving ahead. You see other people succeeding, other people winning, other people celebrating. And meanwhile, you're still waiting, still struggling, still praying, still believing. But what if your current season is not burial? What if it's planting? What if God has placed you in a season of hidden growth? A season where He is building roots before He reveals fruit. Because fruit without roots cannot survive storms. Success without character cannot survive pressure. Blessings without preparation cannot survive responsibility. And God knows exactly what He's doing. The problem is we often want immediate results. We want answers now, breakthroughs now, successes now, miracles now. But God is not focused only on your comfort. He's focused on your development. He's focused on who you are becoming. Sometimes while you're asking God to change your situation, God is working to change you. He's strengthening your patience, strengthening your discipline, strengthening your character, strengthening your faith. Because the person you become during the waiting season is often more valuable than the blessing you're waiting for. Anyone can believe when everything is going well. Anyone can trust when doors are opening. Anyone can smile when life is easy. But real faith shows up when the answer hasn't arrived yet. Real faith shows up when you're tired, when you're disappointed, when you're frustrated, when you're standing in uncertainty, and you still choose to trust. You still choose to believe. You still choose to move forward. Even when you don't understand, remember this: God has never been limited by what you can see. Long before you knew there was a problem, He already knew the solution. Long before the obstacle appeared, He already knew the way through it. Long before the door closed, He already knew which door would open next. Nothing catches God by surprise. Nothing, not your setback, not your delay, not your failure, not your pain, not your confusion. He sees the entire picture while you only see one chapter. You see today's struggle. God sees tomorrow's victory. You see the obstacle. God sees the opportunity hidden behind it. You see the delay. God sees the preparation taking place within it. That's why you cannot allow temporary circumstances to destroy permanent faith. Don't let one difficult season convince you that your story is over. Don't let one setback make you believe that God has abandoned you. Don't let one closed door make you forget that there are still doors waiting to open. Some blessings are being built in silence. Some opportunities are being prepared behind the scenes. Some miracles are growing underground where human eyes cannot see them. And one day, what has been hidden will become visible. One day, the roots will produce fruit. One day, the waiting will make sense. One day, you'll look back and realize that during the moments you thought God was doing nothing, He was actually doing His greatest work. So stop measuring God's activity by what you can currently see. Stop judging your future by your present circumstances. Keep showing up. Keep believing. Keep praying. Keep growing. Keep trusting. Because even when you cannot see it, even when you cannot feel it, even when you cannot understand it, God is still working. And your job is not to worry. Your job is to trust. Worry has never solved a problem. Never, not one. Not in your past, not in your present, not in your future. Yet millions of people wake up every morning carrying the heavy burden of worry as if it is somehow helping them, as if fear is preparing them, as if anxiety is protecting them. But it isn't. Worry is a thief, a silent thief, a patient thief, a thief that doesn't kick down the front door, a thief that slowly sneaks into your mind and steals everything valuable. It steals your peace, it steals your focus, it steals your confidence, it steals your joy, it steals your energy. And worst of all, it steals time you can never get back. Think about how many hours you've spent worrying about something that never happened, how many sleepless nights, how many stressful days, how many moments of fear, only to discover later that your mind was creating a problem bigger than reality itself. That's what worry does. It magnifies uncertainty, it exaggerates obstacles, it creates storms before the clouds even arrive. You sit there imagining the worst, playing negative scenarios over and over again, creating disasters in your mind, fighting battles that haven't even happened, arguing with people who haven't said anything, preparing for failures that haven't occurred. And while you're trapped inside those imaginary situations, life continues moving forward. The present moment slips away, the opportunities slip away, the blessings slip away, the joy of today slips away, because your mind is living in a future that doesn't even exist yet. Listen carefully. Most of the things people worry about never happen, yet they suffer anyway. They suffer twice. First in their imagination, then sometimes in reality, and often only in their imagination. That's the tragedy of worry. It causes real pain over imagined problems. You weren't created to carry that burden. You weren't designed to live under constant pressure. You weren't meant to spend every day wondering what might go wrong. Life is already challenging enough without creating additional battles inside your own mind. The future is not asking for your fear. It's asking for your faith. It's asking for your preparation. It's asking for your discipline. It's asking for your courage. Fear cannot build a future. Anxiety cannot create opportunity. Worry cannot open doors. But faith can keep you moving. Discipline can keep you growing. Action can keep you progressing. That's where your power lives. Not in worrying, in doing, not in fearing, in moving, not in doubting, in believing. You cannot control tomorrow. Nobody can. You cannot control every outcome. You cannot control every person. You cannot control every circumstance. You cannot predict every challenge. And the moment you accept that truth, something powerful happens. You become free, because you stop trying to carry responsibilities that were never yours. You stop trying to control the uncontrollable. You stop exhausting yourself fighting battles that belong to tomorrow. Instead, you focus on what you can control. Today, this moment, this hour, this decision, this action. You can control how you show up today. You can control your attitude. You can control your effort. You can control your commitment. You can control your response. You can control your character. And when you master those things, your life begins to change. Maybe you can't control the economy, but you can control your work ethic. Maybe you can't control other people's opinions, but you can control your integrity. Maybe you can't control every obstacle, but you can control your determination. That is where strength comes from. Not from worrying about tomorrow, but from maximizing today, because every great future is built one day at a time, one decision at a time, one disciplined action at a time. Many people want different results while repeating the same habits. They pray for change but continue feeding their fears. They hope for progress but stay trapped in worry. The breakthrough begins when action replaces anxiety, when movement replaces fear, when faith replaces doubt. You can choose discipline even when you don't feel motivated. You can choose gratitude even when life isn't perfect. You can choose courage even when you're afraid. And those choices matter. They matter more than you realize, because every small act of courage strengthens your confidence. Every disciplined decision strengthens your character. Every grateful thought strengthens your perspective. And little by little, day by day, you become stronger than the fears that once controlled you. Remember this. Fear wants you frozen. Faith wants you moving. Fear wants you focused on everything that could go wrong. Faith reminds you of everything that could go right. Fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, what if I succeed? Fear says, what if things get worse? Faith says, what if this challenge is preparing me for something greater? The voice you listen to will determine the direction you walk. That's why you must guard your mind, protect your thoughts, protect your peace, protect your focus. Because your mind is either becoming a prison or becoming a source of power. The choice is yours every day, every hour, every moment. Every time you replace worry with action, you become stronger. Every time you replace fear with faith, you become more resilient. Every time you move forward despite uncertainty, you prove to yourself that anxiety does not control your life, and eventually something remarkable happens. The things that once intimidated you no longer have power over you. The situations that once made you panic no longer shake you. The fears that once kept you awake no longer control your thoughts, because you've learned a powerful lesson. You've learned that worrying never made you stronger, but trusting did, acting did, believing did. Growing did. So stop giving today's strength to tomorrow's problems. Stop sacrificing today's peace for future possibilities. Stop allowing worry to steal moments you'll never get back. Focus on today. Give your best today. Trust God today. Take action today. And let tomorrow take care of itself. Because every time you replace worry with action, you become stronger. And every time you replace fear with faith, you become unstoppable. Everybody wants the blessing. Few people want the preparation. Everybody wants success. Few people want the process. Everybody wants the reward. Few people want the responsibility that comes with it. We live in a world that celebrates the result, the promotion, the achievement, the breakthrough, the victory. People see the crown, but they rarely see the struggle that came before it. They see the finished building, but they don't see the years spent laying the foundation. They see the harvest, but they don't see the seasons of planting, watering, and waiting. And that's where many people become discouraged, because they want the outcome without understanding the preparation. They want the destination without embracing the journey. But preparation is where character is built. Preparation is where patience is developed. Preparation is where faith becomes real. Preparation is where strength is created. The truth is, God is often more concerned with who you are becoming than with what you are receiving, because what you receive can be lost, but who you become stays with you forever. Think about that. Many people are asking God for bigger opportunities, bigger influence, bigger success, bigger blessings. But the question is not whether the blessing is ready. The question is whether you are ready, because receiving something before you're prepared for it can become dangerous. A blessing received too early can become a burden. An opportunity received before you're prepared can destroy you. Successes without character can create arrogance. Influence without wisdom can create mistakes. Wealth without discipline can disappear overnight. Power without maturity can ruin lives. That's why delays are not always punishments. Sometimes they are protection. Sometimes God says not yet because He sees something you cannot see. You see the opportunity. He sees the responsibility attached to it. You see the reward. He sees the preparation required to sustain it. You see what you want today. He sees who you must become to handle it tomorrow. And because He sees the full picture, He understands that timing matters. The right thing at the wrong time can still create problems. Imagine giving a child the keys to a powerful vehicle. The vehicle itself is not bad. The problem is readiness. The child lacks the experience, wisdom, and maturity to handle it safely. The same principle applies to life. Sometimes what you're asking for is good. The dream is good, the opportunity is good, the blessing is good. But God knows the timing is not right yet. So He allows a season of preparation, a season of growth, a season of development. And unfortunately, many people mistake preparation for rejection. They assume they've been forgotten. They assume they've been overlooked. They assume their prayers are being ignored. But what if that's not true? What if the delay is actually evidence that God cares enough to prepare you properly? What if the waiting season is not empty? What if something important is happening behind the scenes? Because growth often happens in hidden places. Just as roots grow underground before a tree rises above the surface, character is often developed in private before success appears publicly. Nobody sees the discipline. Nobody sees the sacrifices. Nobody sees the lonely nights. Nobody sees the tears. Nobody sees the internal battles. But those hidden moments are shaping you, building you, preparing you, developing qualities that will become essential later. Think about the strongest people you've ever met, the most resilient, the most disciplined, the most grounded. They didn't become that way overnight. They were shaped by challenges, refined by setbacks, strengthened by delays. The very struggles they wanted to escape became the experiences that prepared them for greater things. And maybe that's happening in your life right now. Maybe the delay isn't working against you. Maybe it's working for you. Maybe God is teaching you patience because you'll need it later. Maybe he's teaching you discipline because you'll need it later. Maybe he's teaching you humility because you'll need it later. Maybe he's teaching you endurance because you'll need it later. You don't always understand the lesson while you're living through it. Sometimes understanding arrives much later, years later, when you look back and realize that every difficult season was preparing you for something greater, that every challenge taught you something valuable, that every setback developed strength you didn't know you needed, that every delay had a purpose. One of the hardest things in life is trusting God's timing when it doesn't match your own, because we want answers now, results now, breakthroughs now. But growth doesn't happen instantly. Strong foundations take time. Strong character takes time. Strong faith takes time. And anything built too quickly often collapses just as quickly. That's why patience is not weakness. Patience is strength under control. Patience is trusting the process even when you don't understand it. Patience is believing that something meaningful is happening even when there is no visible evidence. And that's not easy. It's hard to wait. It's hard to trust. It's hard to stay faithful when progress feels slow. But remember this. The greatest transformations often happen during the seasons when it feels like nothing is happening. The seed grows before the tree appears. The foundation is built before the building rises. The preparation comes before the promotion. The process comes before the blessing. So when things are taking longer than expected, don't immediately assume you've been forgotten. Don't assume the dream is dead. Don't assume the opportunity is gone. Don't assume the delay means denial. Instead, ask yourself a different question. What is this season trying to teach me? What strength is being developed? What character is being formed? What lesson is being learned? Because every season has a purpose. Every challenge has a lesson. Every delay has potential value. And maybe, just maybe, what feels like a frustrating delay today will become the reason you're ready for tomorrow's blessing. Maybe you're being developed. Maybe you're being strengthened. Maybe you're being refined. Maybe you're being prepared for responsibilities you cannot yet see. Maybe God is building a foundation so strong that when the blessing finally arrives, it won't destroy you. It will elevate you. It will sustain you. It will become everything it was meant to be. So don't rush the process. Don't curse the waiting season. Don't abandon your faith because the timeline looks different than expected. Trust the preparation. Trust the growth. Trust the lessons. Trust the process. Because if God is making you wait, there is a reason. And if he is taking his time, it may be because he is building something far bigger than you imagined. Something stronger, something deeper, something greater. And when the time finally comes, you'll understand that the delay was never there to stop you. It was there to prepare you. Most people lose long before they fail. They lose in their thoughts, long before the opportunity disappears, long before the dream falls apart, long before the challenge defeats them. They have already surrendered mentally. They have already convinced themselves that the outcome is impossible. They have already accepted defeat before the battle even begins. And that is one of the greatest tragedies in life, because many people are not defeated by circumstances. They are defeated by their own thinking. They convince themselves it's over. They convince themselves they're not enough, not smart enough, not talented enough, not strong enough, not qualified enough, not worthy enough. And after repeating those thoughts long enough, they begin to believe them. Those thoughts become beliefs. Those beliefs become actions. Those actions become habits. And those habits eventually become reality. Because whatever dominates your mind eventually influences your life. That's why the greatest battlefield you will ever face is not outside of you. It's inside of you. The real battle is not always against the economy, not always against difficult people, not always against obstacles. The real battle is often against fear, against doubt, against insecurity, against the voice inside your head that keeps telling you to quit. Every person listening to this knows that voice that appears when you're trying something difficult, the voice that says you're too late, the voice that says you're not capable, the voice that says nothing will ever change, the voice that reminds you of every mistake you've ever made, the voice that magnifies every failure, the voice that wants you to stay comfortable, to stay safe, to stay small, because fear hates growth, fear hates progress, fear hates courage, fear wants you trapped inside the limits you've created for yourself. But here's what you must understand. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it deserves your attention. Not every thought is true. Not every fear is real. Not every doubt deserves your belief. Your mind is powerful, extremely powerful. And what you feed grows. Feed fear and fear grows. Feed doubt and doubt grows. Negativity and negativity grows. Feed insecurity and insecurity grows. Whatever receives your attention receives your energy. And whatever receives your energy becomes stronger. Imagine watering weeds every single day. What happens? They grow. They spread, they take over the garden. The same thing happens with negative thinking. If you constantly water fear, fear grows. If you constantly water worry, worry grows. If you constantly water self-doubt, self-doubt grows. Soon those thoughts begin controlling decisions, controlling your confidence, controlling your future. But the opposite is also true. Feed faith and faith grows. Feed courage and courage grows. Feed gratitude and gratitude grows. Feed discipline and discipline grows. Feed hope and hope grows. The mind works in whatever direction you train it. That's why protecting your mind is one of the most important responsibilities you have. Because every day something is trying to influence your thinking. Bad news, negative people, past failures, disappointments, criticism, setbacks. All of these things are competing for space inside your mind. And if you're not careful, they'll begin writing a story that was never meant to be yours. A story of limitation, a story of defeat, a story of fear. But you have the power to choose a different story. Every morning, you have a choice, a powerful choice. Will you focus on the problem or will you focus on the promise? Will you focus on what's wrong or will you focus on what's possible? Will you focus on your limitations or will you focus on your potential? Will you focus on your past or will you focus on your future? Those choices matter more than most people realize, because where your focus goes, your energy follows. If all you see are problems, you'll feel defeated. If all you see are obstacles, you'll feel discouraged. If all you see are reasons to quit, quitting becomes easier. But if you focus on possibilities, something changes. Your perspective changes, your attitude changes, your actions change, and eventually your results begin to change. The strongest people in the world are not those who never experience fear. They experience fear just like everyone else. The difference is they refuse to let fear make their decisions. They keep moving, they keep believing, they keep showing up, even when uncertainty exists, even when challenges remain, even when they don't have all the answers, because they understand something powerful. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is continuing to believe despite doubt. Strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is continuing to stand despite struggle. And every time you choose courage over fear, you become stronger. Every time you choose faith over doubt, you become stronger. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you become stronger. Little by little, day by day, decision by decision. You build mental strength, you build resilience, you build confidence. And eventually the things that once controlled your thinking lose their power. The fears become smaller, the doubts become weaker. The excuses become quieter, not because life becomes easier, but because your mind becomes stronger. Remember this, every great achievement begins in the mind. Before someone changes their life, they first change their thinking. Before someone reaches a goal, they first believe it's possible. Before someone creates a breakthrough, they first win the internal battle. The victory always happens inside before it appears outside. The athlete wins mentally before winning physically. The entrepreneur wins mentally before succeeding financially. The leader wins mentally before influencing others. The champion wins mentally before lifting the trophy. Everything begins within. That's why you cannot afford to lose the battle in your mind. Because if your mind gives up, your actions soon follow. But if your mind remains strong, your body will keep moving. Your spirit will keep fighting. Your faith will keep growing. And your future will keep expanding. So guard your thoughts, protect your focus, feed your faith. Feed your courage, feed your purpose. Refuse to let fear write your story. Refuse to let doubt define your future. Refuse to let temporary circumstances determine permanent beliefs, because the greatest victories are won internally before they ever appear externally. The breakthrough starts in your mind. The transformation starts in your mind. The future starts in your mind. Win the battle there first, and everything else will begin to follow. One day, you'll look back at this season, not while you're in the middle of it, not while the pain still feels fresh, not while the questions remain unanswered, but one day you'll stand on the other side of everything you're going through right now, and you'll see it differently. You'll look back at the sleepless nights, the nights when your mind refused to rest, the nights when fear tried to convince you that things would never improve, the nights when you stared at the ceiling wondering how everything would work out, the nights when tears fell and nobody saw them, the nights when you felt alone, the nights when your faith was tested. And you'll realize those nights were not wasted. They were shaping you, they were strengthening you, they were teaching you lessons that comfort never could. One day you'll look back at the unanswered prayers, the prayers you thought God ignored, the prayers you repeated over and over again, the prayers that seemed to disappear into silence, and you'll finally understand that silence did not mean absence. Silence did not mean rejection. Silence did not mean God wasn't listening. Sometimes the answer was simply not yet. Sometimes the answer was wait. Sometimes the answer was trust me. And when you finally see the full picture, you'll realize that some prayers were delayed because something better was being prepared, something wiser, something greater, something more aligned with your purpose. One day you'll look back at the disappointments, the opportunities that disappeared, the plans that fell apart, the people who walked away, the dreams that didn't happen when you expected, and you'll realize that not everything you lost was meant to stay. Not every door was meant to remain open. Not every opportunity was meant to become part of your story. At the time it felt painful. At the time it felt unfair. At the time it felt like life was moving against you. But years later you'll see what you couldn't see then. You'll see protection where you once saw rejection. You'll understand that some doors closed because danger was behind them. Some relationships ended because they could not go where God was taking you. Some opportunities disappeared because they would have distracted you from your true purpose. Sometimes what feels like rejection is actually divine protection, and protection doesn't always feel good in the moment. But it saves you from pain you cannot yet see. One day you'll look back at the waiting, the long waiting, the frustrating waiting, the season where nothing seemed to move, the season where everyone else appeared to be progressing while you stood still, the season where you questioned the timing, questioned yourself, questioned your future, questioned whether anything was changing at all. And you'll realize that waiting was not punishment, waiting was preparation, because while you were waiting, something was happening. Your patience was growing, your faith was growing, your wisdom was growing, your strength was growing. The person you were becoming was being prepared for the blessing that was coming. And had it arrived earlier, you would not have been ready for it. That's the part many people don't understand. God often works on the person before he releases the promise. Because what you receive is important, but who you become is even more important. One day you'll begin connecting the dots. Moments that once felt random will suddenly make sense. Events that once felt meaningless will reveal their purpose. You'll see how one closed door led to a better opportunity, how one painful setback redirected your path, how one difficult season developed the strength you needed later. You'll see connections you couldn't see before. You'll see that nothing was wasted, not the tears, not the heartbreak, not the disappointment, not the delay, not the struggle. Every experience contributed something valuable. Every challenge taught you something important. Every obstacle developed something inside of you. And you'll realize that what felt like a setback was actually a setup for growth, a setup for wisdom, a setup for purpose, a setup for the next chapter of your life. The very thing you were praying to escape may have been preparing you for the blessing you now enjoy. The very challenge you hated may have become the source of your strength. The very season that tested you may have become the season that transformed you. And when that understanding arrives, your perspective changes forever. You stop asking, why did this happen to me? And you begin asking, what was this teaching me? You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances. You start seeing yourself as someone being prepared for purpose. Because purpose often grows through adversity. Strength often grows through struggle. Wisdom often grows through waiting. And faith often grows through uncertainty. One day you'll thank God for the delays. You'll thank Him for the closed doors. You'll thank Him for the redirections. You'll thank Him for the seasons that made no sense. Because you'll finally understand that He was protecting you from things you couldn't see, guiding you toward things you couldn't imagine, preparing blessings you weren't yet ready to receive. And you'll thank God for not giving you what you wanted when you wanted it. Because if He had answered every prayer exactly when you demanded it, you might have missed something far greater, something deeper, something stronger, something better. Because God's timing often makes sense only in hindsight. We understand later what we couldn't understand now. We see later what we couldn't see then. We appreciate later what we once resisted. That's why faith matters. Faith is trusting before understanding arrives. Faith is continuing forward before answers appear. Faith is believing there is purpose in the process even when evidence is missing. So until that day arrives, keep walking even when the path feels uncertain. Keep believing even when the results are invisible. Keep trusting even when the waiting feels long. Keep praying, keep growing, keep moving, keep showing up, because your story is not over. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. Your answers may be forming in places you cannot yet see. Your future may be unfolding in ways you cannot yet understand. And one day, when you finally look back, you'll realize that every step mattered, every challenge mattered, every delay mattered, every lesson mattered, and every moment was leading you exactly where you needed to be. So stop worrying. Stop carrying tomorrow's burden today. Stop assuming silence means abandonment. Stop believing delays mean denial, because even now, in ways you cannot see, in places you cannot reach, Behind doors you don't know exist, God is already working.